Good morning. Today we are moving to Hawaii. Here's my bag for the day. Snacks for the plane. And my backpack, which is pretty full. I have my laptop, 2 coloring books, my AirPods, pencils, portable charger, and then down there is my jacket. I have to put the food in there miraculously. Somehow I have to fit it in there. This is where everything fell apart, basically. What happened was we had a really bad day. We missed our flight. So we couldn't get another flight, like later in the day, because we had an appointment with the vet to check in our cats in Maui. Like, we had to have the vet go to Maui to check in our cats. So we couldn't just go at another time because we had a very small window of the time that the vet was going to be there. If we wanted to get another flight, we would have had to pay a lot of money to have the vet stay overtime, so we couldn't get another flight. So what happened was we had a rental car that day, so my mom had to go return the rental car. The rental car took her like 2 hours to return, so me, Jessica, and Dexter had to wait at the airport with our cats who were on medication. Yes, they were on medication, because if we didn't medicate them for that plane ride, I'm afraid my cats would have had a heart attack and died. So they were medicated, and we had to stand around at the airport and wait for her to get there, because we couldn't check in the bags because she was the person it was filed under, so she needed her ID. So we had to wait 2 hours for her to check in the rental car. And then after that, we went and we had, I think, 8 full-size luggages that had to be checked in. The lady, bless her heart, didn't know how to check in animals, so we had to have like a bunch of managers come. She didn't know what to do with animals going to Hawaii, and it's very complicated. That took us about another hour just to check in our luggage and get the cats done. And then we realized, oh my gosh, our flight starts boarding in like 30 minutes. So we had to run from the check-in to security. For those of you who have ever taken animals through security, it is very hard and it is stressful. Especially if you have an animal in a carrier, you have to take your animal out of the carrier and hold them in the security line and walk through like the sensor and walk through that with the animal. And then you have to wait for their bag to come out, the x-ray, and then you have to put them back in. And they have to take like these samples. I don't know, it's really complicated. And you know how every once in a while TSA just decides to like flag your bag and check it for no reason? Yeah, well, that happened to all of us for all of our bags. So then we realized we're not gonna make our flight because this is taking way too long, and like everything that could have possibly gone wrong had gone wrong. And so at this point, we kind of just accepted the fact that everyone else accepted it except for me, because I was like, if we run really fast, we're gonna make it. So we ran to the door, and I think we still had 10 minutes, like there's that window, you know, before the gate closes, and it's like that 10 window where they hold it for anybody that could possibly be running late. So we still had like 10 minutes before it said on our boarding passes that they were gonna close the gate. So we flew to our gate, which was at the end of the terminal, so we had to run really far. So we get to our gate and we're like, hey, we need to board, and they're like, we closed the gate early. They closed the gate early. Can you please open it? This is really important in the day, like we're moving to Hawaii today, we really need to get this flight. Can you please open the gate for us? And they were like, no, sorry, we can't. The gate's already been closed. We're like, okay. And then we hear one of the stewardesses come out and say, there's been a problem, it's going to be delayed for the next 30 minutes. And we're kind of just thinking, you close the gate early and then your flight ends up getting delayed. You're supposed to let us on the plane, that's why the flight's delayed. So can you please open the gate and let us on? But they wouldn't do it. So they closed the gate early and the flight was delayed. We all kind of just cried on the floor at the Alaska desk, and yeah. Thankfully, we were able to get another flight the next day, but instead of going directly to Maui, we had to fly into Oahu for our cats, which is no big deal. But so this is the 4th of July, and my aunt came and picked us back up. Aunt Tanya, for watching this, thank you so much for doing that. You're awesome. So we had these poor cats had to be medicated the rest of the day for no reason, and so we went back to my aunt's house and just enjoyed the 4th of July. So this was our first attempt, and it was a failure. But stay tuned for the next video, because we actually do it and we actually move that day. So stay tuned. Shock.